The SEC has finally come out and commented on the SEC versus Ripple case. The lawsuit has been concluded, and we are finally hearing from the horse's mouth a little bit about, kind of the end of their case. And I think people were just kind of a little bit nervous still because we know that the government, the SEC specifically, has screwed over the crypto industry so many times. Do we really believe what we hear half the time? Not really. So, coming from the horse's mouth, it's kind of nice to see. Nice to see coming from Ripple as well. And so let's talk about what the SEC has basically done. They've also done something extremely unprecedented and given Ripple access to a whole new revenue stream. This is wild, and I can't believe that this is happening. But we're going to talk about that in the video as well. So make sure you guys stick around. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and follow me on X as well if you're watching over there. So SEC Chairman Paul Adkins has commented on the case, saying, "With this chapter closed, we have an opportunity to shift our energy from the courtroom to the policy drafting table." But what else they have done, this is absolutely crazy. So, the SEC issued a waiver allowing Ripple to sell securities to private investors. This directly contravenes Judge Torres's ruling in the XRP case's lengthy court cross appeals process. So, this is pretty much what Ripple went to court for, right? And this is something that they wanted the judge to kind of change her mind on, and they didn't. So legal experts are really dumbfounded by this move, but they have acknowledged that there isn't really a clear way to stop it. SEC basically just undermined the judge's ruling and the legal system altogether. So this is absolutely crazy. So the last few months, Ripple and SEC have been locked in the appeals process. They both wanted to quit. They both wanted to come to a conclusion and just kind of be done with it. They dropped the case itself in March, and they worked together to try and remove a restriction from the Gensler era. And this restriction was forbidding Ripple from selling securities to retail investors. Now, the commission's trying to grant Ripple's request anyway via a waiver, which it issued last Friday. In light of the facts and circumstances, the commission has determined that good cause exists for not denying the exemption contained therein. Accordingly, it is ordered that a waiver from the application of this disqualification provision is hereby granted to Ripple. And what does this mean? So this is essentially means that the SEC's waiver fulfills Ripple's biggest ask from the cross appeal. They wanted to be able to sell to investors, right? The reprieve from its security sales ban was almost its most important goal. Now, Mark Fagel is a former SEC official and litigator, and he called the move unprecedented and arguably dubious, arguably lawless, and more. A blatant FU to the court. This is insane. The waiver represents new territory in crypto regulation. As long as the firm has this waiver, it can honestly argue that any security sales are completely legal. The SEC has basically given Ripple a new revenue stream. This is insane because, it's kind of one of those things. Like, if you're not allowed to walk down the sidewalk backwards, but a cop comes by and says, "Oh yeah, you're fine. You're allowed to do that." Technically, what can they do, right? How do they really? The SEC is the governing body. They're the ones that are going to press the charges. And if they say that you're allowed to do this, then really, what does the court have to say, right? Who's going to actually take them to court? I mean, so crazy. So Ripple basically gets its way. The SEC backs down from what they basically took them to court for in the beginning. Absolutely crazy. So, anyways, I just wanted to let you guys know that and let you guys know that that this is happening. Just the flip flop in the SEC right now is crazy. Hester Peters coming out saying, confirming all this. There's a number of other commissioners that have come out and talked about the case, and a lot of them thought that it was unfair. And really, the removal of Gary Gensler couldn't have been. This is probably one of the biggest things that's ever happened to crypto. Besides, I hate to say Donald Trump, but the stance on crypto in government and in regulation and institutions and basically the world is completely changing. This is flip flopping, and we are still early, in my opinion. Yes, XRP is a multi-billion dollar um, has a multi-billion dollar worth, but we're still early in this, guys. This hasn't even been adopted yet. Adoption versus price is a completely different thing. The price is good, the price is going up. We're seeing the value coming back into XRP, but we're not at adoption phase just yet. And the adoption is going to determine the price eventually down the road. I think this thing is going to be a lot more massive than we've ever even anticipated. But that's what I got for you guys in this video. Just want to thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.